you this powerful message, please welcome our dear friend, Brother Nico Narvaez.
Let's give a big hand to Brother Ayo! Can we honor Brother Ayo? Can we give him a hand once again? You know, before coming on stage, he said, I really feel dizzy, but he still continued to preach the word to us. Woo! Are you good? Good afternoon! Can you tell the person beside you, good afternoon? Truth number 2. Compassion is God's empathy. Everybody say, compassion is God's empathy. Some people think that God doesn't have emotions. That's a question we need to ask ourselves. Does God have emotions just like us? Does God feel just like us? Some people think that God is just like the Force. Do you know the Star Wars, the Force? The Force in Star Wars, emotionless. It's just a spirit that is formless and emotionless. Or like, if you're a fan of Star Trek, like Spock, who is purely logical. No emotions at all. And that's rooted from ancient Greek theology. That's called apathy. Everybody say apathy. Yun yung sa, ano diba? Apathy. Morning. That God doesn't really have emotions. And there's also this one more thing. It's called anthropomorphism. Everybody say anthropomorphism. Na, alam mo yun yung nakakainis, hindi ko na nga naiintindihan ng English. Babatuhan pa tayo ng anthropomorphism. Ancient Jewish literature. That says na, ito naman, they're saying that the only reason why we think God has emotions is because we're projecting our human emotions to Him. That just because we think that we have emotions, we think God also has emotions. But, everybody say but! There's this perspective that I actually like better. That ancient biblical authors say that it's not that we're projecting our emotions to God, but God created us. It means that whatever emotions we feel, whatever feelings that we feel, is actually from God. Because we were made in God's image. So if we were made in God's image, then if He has feelings, then we have feelings too. And I believe that's such a better perspective. And you know, if God has compassion, and we feel compassion towards our neighbors, it just means that we're just reflecting God's compassion for us to the people around us. Amen? Here's a fun fact. In the Old Testament, whenever you hear the word compassion, it actually, 80% of the time, they're talking about God's compassion. And only 20% of the time, it talks about human compassion. So what does that mean? It means that compassion comes from God. Tell the person beside you, compassion comes from God. But where does compassion start? Compassion starts with empathy. Everybody say empathy. Empathy is the ability to feel what the other person is feeling. If the other person is sad, you feel sad also because you feel empathy for that person. But there's this study by the University of Michigan, and they found that between 1970 to around early 2000s, that empathy levels have dropped by 40%. 40%. And we could think of a lot of reasons, but we could think of 3 reasons. Reason number 1, digital fatigue. When you're eating with your friends or your family, naka-phone. When we're, even if we're not in our families and we're on our phones, lagi na tayo nakakita ng masasamang balita. We open threads, your Twitter or YouTube. Lagi masamang balita. And